Welcome back to our daily document where we take you behind the scenes of everything I'm doing daily to take our business from doing $1.2 million last year to hopefully scaling to $1 million months this year. So in this series, if you've not been following along, I kind of take you through what we're doing in the business every day, what did work, what didn't work, and just kind of leading from the front. 3 ways these videos works. First, YouTube comment Q&A. You just comment on any one of the videos with questions, and then we'll start the video by answering your common questions. We're building strategizing public and really just showing you growth across YouTube, podcasts, and all of our products as we do this process. Now, this video was surprising, and it kind of came out of nowhere because literally yesterday I went into use Claude, which a lot of you probably know as the AI tool by Anthropic. And there's a new feature that I had enabled but hadn't really dived into, which is that Claude can now sync with your email provider. And good God, did I pull out some really interesting information and context and created something really powerful on the back end. So first of all, one of the coolest things that I really like about Claude is that now that it integrates directly with email providers like ActiveCampaign, you can get it to just pull all the data in. And so something that my clients ask me a lot is, Jamie, can you give me like examples of story-based emails or emails that you've done? And we've now been able to pull in all of our historic emails, which includes like what kind of email it is. It includes how many sends, how big the list was that we sent it to, how many unique opens, our open rate, how many link clicks we got, right? You can view the specific emails over here. So we can just click an email and pull it out. And this was really cool just for, insights on this. And so just to show you guys a little bit about, how this process works and how I got into it. The first thing that was really powerful was that I jumped into Claude and I got it to do an email analysis. And so if you're not familiar, right, I jumped in here and I said, I want you to analyze all the emails I've ever sent in ActiveCampaign's history. And I want you to create a skill that will help me write new emails exactly in my style. In total, it pulled in over 1,500 campaigns that I've written. And from there, it basically pulled all of that data together to both give me this database and to give me these really powerful skills for writing copy. Now, just to talk through how I'm planning to use this, the goal here for me isn't to remove myself from email, but it's actually to do a lot of the initial legwork when we put together really big campaigns. A really good example is that literally just today we have launched, or I should say relaunched, one of our offers, which was we help people. If you don't know who I am, I'm Jamie Atkinson. We run leaderguest.com. We help business owners like coaches and service-based businesses get booked on podcasts to scale and grow their company. And so one of the things that we have is this giant top 1% podcast database that is inbound. All these podcasters come to us. And we recently relaunched our Done For You offering. So one of the things that I did was I came in and I got all of the emails of a promotion that I did back in 2023. And so what I did was I created 3 specific skills. One of the skills was around an email marketing course from Ian Stanley that I learned years ago. The other one was my specific style of emails. And then the other one was a subject line analyzer. And what I did was I got it to read the promotional emails that I sent in 2023 for a big marketing campaign. So if you guys didn't know, you can actually see the campaign here. We did a Done For You podcast campaign launch back in 2023 in November. It was back in 2019. And these were the emails that we actually ended up sending out, these specific emails here. And some of them did really well. Like we had this particular email that did really well, which was something that we called the office email. So if you're familiar with Michael Scott in The Office, right? It is an email that I wrote to basically get people to check out a Google Doc. And we called it Michael Scott Explains How to Get Booked on Podcasts. And we've got a bunch of animated GIFs of, Michael Scott coming in here inside of this offer document. So we use a lot of these like animated GIFs throughout the process just to make the offer more fun and more easy to consume. But long story short, we'd already done this successful promotion before, and I was really just looking for a way to take that campaign, modernize it with the new concepts that we put in. And God, did it do a lot of the lead work. So when we got it to put all of this together, I got it to look at the new offer details, the new process of what we cover. I threw in our VSL script for how we do our video sales letters. I wrote the first couple of emails to give it some context of like, here's how I'm changing it, inside of this process. And it ended up spitting back out for me some really, really, really cool context. And so this was the document that it ended up giving me, which gave me tons of great email advice and email angles to take. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is that I know a lot of people out there really struggle with writing emails. And so you can see inside of here, it helped me to put together the promotional cycle based on what we did before. It gave me the nuts and bolts of the promotional campaign in the way we've done it, previously, which has had success, right? Understand this to make money as a podcast guest, only relevant to 7 and 8 figure podcasters. We talk a lot about this. Why should you care? And going through the data. And so a lot of what is really, holding back most of us as business owners from sending higher volumes of emails or doing it at a high level is really just time. And so if you can shortcut a lot of that process, but not lose your style of how you actually talk in terms of your media, this is very, very powerful. Now, I want to talk a little bit more high level about how we're planning to use this, because I actually want to go a couple steps beyond just what we're talking about with just replicating email, and talk to you guys a bit about how I'm planning to use this in my material and my content, and actually to help us to get better client results inside of our process and program as well. So here's some of the ways that I'm thinking about leveraging this AI voice that we've created for ourselves. So first of all, once that you've fed this AI with a lot of information on how you talk, how you put these phrases together, one is this is a really valuable tool for your audience and your prospects. Like if I was to say to you guys, hey, we've made upwards of $1.5 million with our email marketing. Do you want me to give you access to the GPT where you can ask any question to it and get feedback on the way you write your emails based on what we've done that works? Like that alone is a really powerful tool. And so one will probably turn this, email writing machine and skill into a custom GPT for clients to help them write better emails. Right? And there's two ways that you can do that. Like one, which is probably not the way that I'm going to do it, is you can give them a tool to write the email. Or B, which is more likely what I'm going to do, is you can use the knowledge to give feedback on emails they wrote. So I like option B more because option A really creates lazy marketers, and what ends up happening is that everybody, if I just gave them this tool to write emails like me, then I would end up with a bunch of copycats of people that just sounded like me and not sounded like themselves, and people would just, be lazy with it and put that content out, and it probably wouldn't work as well. Whereas if we can actually use the knowledge on how I write these emails at scale with the different types of emails, the highest performing subject lines, the emails that did the best, and then give feedback to clients on the principles that are missing in their email, which could be anything from, the opening line being too long, the subject line not being great, not having a clear call to action, just basically feedback. I think that can be really, really valuable. Two, I don't produce content on any other platform when it comes to writing. And so there's a lot of places that written content can get reproduced. And so one of the things that I think is really powerful here that you can really think about is that you can really use these AI engines to be reproducers. And so easier said than done. Sometimes you end up with some sloppy content, but what's nice about something like email, or if you're doing a podcast episode, there's a lot of valuable context that goes into these emails. Right now, I got Claude to analyze over 1,500 of these campaigns. On average, those emails have about 400 words. So 1,500 campaigns times 400 words, that's 600,000 words of me sharing personal stories, advice, things we figured out, context, catching how I talk and communicate. And so what you want to probably do is start small, grow bigger, but we can actually go in and say, okay, well, what platform do we want to produce more content on? For example, right now, we do a lot of cold email, and LinkedIn is going to be one of the platforms that we're using to follow up with people who have been interested in what we do. And so me actually taking this content that we're writing in email and then getting it to reproduce LinkedIn specific content would be very, very valuable. You might also want to put them as Medium articles. You might want to put them as blog articles. You might want to do them as Facebook posts or Instagram captions, right? There's a lot of opportunity there. What we'll most likely do is actually use this to create more LinkedIn posts for us to put onto the profile to just help us solidify more of the content on our marketing for cold email and use it initially there. The third thing, and I think this is the part where most people are missing the value of these AI agents, is having like the AI as a team member. And so one of the things that we're most likely planning to do with this right now is one, I'm going to get this to send me prompts in Slack at the beginning of the day with ideas of emails we could write. And so I'm just going to get it to send over some, subject line ideas, and also just, any ideas of promos that did well in the past. And so essentially what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to use the AI as this reminder tool, because I don't know how many of you have ever looked back at what you've done in the past before. The other day I sat down and I thought about the business that I had run in 2019, and I was like, we actually did a really good job in that business. Why did I decide to change the offer? And, the reason I decided to change the offer was because I was stupid, right? And there was really no good reason for me to change that offer other than I was like, okay, on to the next thing. Let me try and do something different and bigger and more powerful. Whereas if I'd have just ridden that offer all the way to the end line, we probably would have continued to have success as we grew and scaled that particular offer. And so one of the things that is really powerful about these AI tools, and the way I would get you to think about it, and the way that we're thinking about it, is how can we get AI to prompt us, to remind us of cool shit that we've already done so that we can do more of that cool shit again. And so that's one of the ways that I'm going to be using AI as a team member. Another thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use it as a feedback tool on the emails that I'm writing. So just like I'm going to get this to do it for my clients, where I'm going to say, hey, don't use this to write emails, use it to give you feedback. I'm going to do the same thing where when I start to write out an email, or I've got an outline, or I've done the first draft, I'm going to run it through. I'm going to get it to give me scores based on what it's seen me do well in the past before, to help me just overall improve it. And see, the third thing, and I think the thing that a lot of people forget about this, is that there are a lot of things that you are going to build out when it comes to emails that are going to be very repeatable, meaning welcome sequences, emails that you write for new lead magnets that you've created, cart abandon sequences, VSL warm-up sequences. There are a lot of these automated sequences that actually do take a really long time for you to write out, that you've probably already done in one way or another, and you just need to change the context in terms of what you're writing in the emails. And I think that's where I'm most likely going to be deploying this kind of writing tool for me, is to take proven automations, campaigns, or processes, and rewrite them with new context. And so that's one of the other really big, tools and leverages that we're going to have. I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. We use ActiveCampaign every single day. If you haven't checked it out on the channel, I posted a video recently where we got a 97-to-1 return on our email marketing. We spent $11,000 to make $1.268 million. I'll put the video up on the screen here so you guys can go check that out. But if you're not using email marketing in your business, it's literally almost free in comparison to how much money you can make for it. You already put all the hard work in to generate the leads. You might as well follow up with them. And, if you guys haven't done email marketing, I really encourage you to check out using some of these AI tools to help support you. And if you need help with this in any way in your business, click the link down below. We can talk to you a bit more about Media Firestorm. We have two main things we do in our coaching programs. One, we get you booked. Two, we help you make more money by sending emails. And so by combining those two things together, we usually help clients make significantly more money than when they try and do this by themselves. All right. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed it. Like the video if it was good. Drop a comment if you've got questions about how to apply this to your business. We'll see you in the next one.